Next. 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 That could work. Hey, you caught me nexting. Do you want to know what that means? I cannot wait to tell you because it works. So there's this story called the 333. And I'm going to read just a little bit of it to you, and then I'm going to tell you the rest of it. Okay. So hang with me while I read to you. It's story time. Bob Proctor was conducting a seminar which ran from Thursday night to Sunday at the Deerhurst Lodge, which is a resort approximately 100 miles out of Toronto, Ontario. On that Friday night, a tornado swept through a town about 40 miles south. The tornado killed a dozen people and did millions, can you say millions, of dollars worth of damage. That Sunday night, as Bob was coming home, he stopped in the city or the town to observe it. Everywhere he looked, smashed houses, cars turned upside down, you name it. That same night, another man named Bob Templeton was driving down the same highway. Templeton and Bob had never met. However, an idea from Bob's seminar was about to bring them together in a lasting friendship. Templeton stopped at the same disaster and looked around. However, this was different. His reaction was different than Bob's. Templeton looked just like Bob did at the disaster, and he thought this: how can I help? How can I make a change? He was the vice president of a telecommunications company, which owned many radio stations across Ontario and Quebec. So he stood there thinking, this is awful. How can I make a difference? How can I do? What can I do? And he set his mind to doing something right then. The following night, Bob was doing, okay, I don't want to read that. I'm so sorry. I'm going to skip over some of this stuff. So he ends up going back to his work, to his office, Bob Templeton, and sitting down with his team and saying to them, we have to do something for these people. We need $3 million. And he asked them, how would you like to make $3 million 3 days from now in 3 hours? Could you imagine the look on everybody's face? What happened to our boss? He went to this conference. Look at him. He's lost it. Bob says to them as they're like, gulp, what do you mean? How could we do that? We couldn't do that. Should we really do that? I mean, like there's other, I mean, like let other people do it. Let the government, let the whatever, let the city. We, I don't know how we could do that. This is his response. He says, I'm not asking you if we could do it. I'm not even asking you if we should do it. I'm asking you, would you like to do it? Now that changes everything, doesn't it? Not could, not should, would. So he asked them, would you like to do it? They're like, yeah, we would like to. So he gets out this giant flipboard and draws like a line down the middle, or you could call it a T, whatever you want to do. And on one side, it says every like woulda, shoulda, coulda, and not woulda, you know what I mean? But like every reason why this won't work. And then on the other side, it says the good ideas. Then he goes back to the side that says it won't work, and he draws a giant X in it. And he says, we are going to sit here and brainstorm ideas. We're going to mastermind together. This is my paraphrase, okay? And anytime that somebody has an idea that says we can't do this, or it's an idea that won't work, this is what we're going to say. Everybody is going to shout at the top of their lungs, next. And we are going to write down only the ideas that are going to help us in 3 days achieve the $3 million goal in 3 hours. Well, without going into all the details of the story, guess what happened? They had their meeting. They started nexting things left and right. And do you know what happened 3 days later? Yeah, in 3 hours. Yeah, they had $3 million to give into that town, to sow seed into that town to help the people rebuild. Now, that is a beautiful story. My question to you and to me is, are you nexting things? You heard me at the beginning saying, next, next. I've really adopted this and made it my own. I love the word next. I'll say, what's the next thing to happen in my life? But that word now, next and nexting, has taken on a whole nother additional definition or even life form. If there is something in your life that you really want, your why, your purpose, something that you feel so compelled that you need to do, instead of looking at all the reasons why you can't, if you could, should you, how about we just next? We just X those. Remember, you put a big X for next. Why don't we just start nexting things? And if you start crossing off the ones that don't work, I guarantee you, you're going to find the answer that will work. Now, we're not even adding the empowerment of God into this. When you are saying, hey, heaven, you're bringing this idea to me and you're asking me to do this. So I am believing that I receive that download from heaven that I need, and everything else is X'd out. I'm telling you, you are going to have the answers that you need. There's nothing too big. Nothing is too big for God. There is nothing that you are incapable of. All things are possible to those that what? To those that what? Believe. So I want to challenge you to start doing 333, the 333-ing. Can I put it that way? 333-ing has just become a word. It's become a verb. Are you 333-ing today? Let's do it. And I encourage you to find somebody to do it with, or a small group who is willing to X out and 333 with you and chase after those divine ideas that'll change other people's lives. When you have a why, as Ian Harvey says, that makes you cry, that's your purpose by design. It's driving you. 333-ing really needs to become a way of our life. It needs to become the way we do things. You see, when we have this attitude about life, to next it, 333-ing, it's not that we are just putting blinders on or plugging our ears to things that are negative. We realize that those are there. We don't have our feet dangling off a cloud somewhere. We're just choosing to put all of our heart and our mental thought or mental energy into the positive and finding it. Life makes a way. The positive will make a way. The answers will come. We just need to align with heaven and start nexting and make 333-ing a verb, a reality in our life. All right. I hope that this has been a blessing to you. If it has, do me a huge favor. Will you help me do some 333-ing? Please? How can you help me? You can help me by subscribing and sharing. And let's get this content out to the world so that the world hears that 333-ing is a verb, and that we can X out our wouldas, couldas, and shouldas in the negative form, or the ideas that don't work, and we can just focus on what we would like to see happen. Of course, aligning with heaven's purpose by design for you. No more default. Exit out. All right. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And as I move my little cursor over my end broadcast, I want to hear you say this. I want to hear it. And I know I will feel it. Let me hear you shout next. And next means get out, right? In this circumstance, right? No, I'm not thinking that way anymore. Have a new thought. Ready? Next. Keep saying it. Say it again. Next.